Assalamualaikum and good afternoon, everyone. My name is Haikal Hakimi, and we are back with another weekly session. First of all, I would like to welcome and thank everyone here, especially to our bright and charming panelists for taking their time into our panel discussion today. First, I would like to welcome Mr. Ilham bin Ahmad Nawawi, a principal that has been conducting SMK Putra for almost 27 years now. Next, please welcome Mr. Nur Nabawi bin Abdul Rashid, a proud father of 13 children. And last but not least, Muhammad Hafiz Aiman bin Ruzuki, a 17-year-old student from SMK Pinggan Pinggan. For your information, this is our first forum that was done completely virtual for the purpose of social distancing in mind. For today's topic, it will be relevant to these trying times. The Covid-19 pandemic has led to a dramatic loss of human life worldwide and presents an unprecedented challenge to public health, food system, education, and the world of work. As the year 2020 comes to an end, the country has seen an unprecedented change to the dynamic and culture of education due to the Covid-19 pandemic, causing schools and varsities to halt operation at certain periods. The situation has forced millions of students across the country to fully utilize their laptops or devices and start learning from home via online. With all schools shut down, teachers were advised to make online teaching the way forward. Besides determining the best teaching and learning methods based on the constraints and situation faced by students at home during the movement control order. However, parents are concerned how well their children's education during the pandemic in terms of social skill and soft skill, since most of the things have moved to online. So today's topic will be, does the current educational system effective during pandemic COVID-19? Please stay tuned. During these hard times in our nation, handling an educational institution can be a daunting task to do. As a principal, what is your suggestion of improvement to keeping up the student with their studies?
Assalamualaikum and thank you for inviting me to a forum that want to discuss a hot topic that is about learning problems faced by school students at this time. I would also like to thank the parent of the student who took the issue seriously. I understand they want the best health and learning process for their child. Regarding a very interesting question, I as the principal of SMK Putra represent the educators to the best of my ability to ensure that this student can continue to learn even in cyberspace. I suggest 3 actions that can be done by teachers that I have practiced in my school to help school students. First of all, I suggest that teachers identify and support struggling students. But how? Teachers can provide sample questions involving situation and student, solve the question, and the result to the mark obtained by the student. The teacher will be able to know the student who have problem to answer based on the low mark obtained. Teachers can communicate directly with the student to find out where learning is still beyond their control. Teachers can use applications such as WhatsApp or Telegram via private chat. My second suggestion is that teachers should create communication with students. But why? Because students need the attention and guidance of the teachers to always show the right thing. For example, teachers can create communication through Google Classroom application. Teachers can take advantage of this application by providing the notes provided in PDF format. That it is easy for students to review the lesson which the note provides. In addition, teachers can also create WhatsApp or Telegram group to remind students about the assignment given and the date the assignment need to be sent. Indirectly, learning will run in organized manner. And finally, teachers can insert motivation work in WhatsApp group or Telegram to inspire students not to give up despite being in the new norm. My third suggestion is that the teacher's presentation while teaching should be clear and easy to understand. I take the example when online classes run. There are some students who just go into Google Meet or Zoom meeting to get attendance only, but do not follow the learning. This is where the role of the teacher should be creative to attract the attention of students. For example, the teacher can make a short video about the learning to be learned by including some animation to attract the attention of students. In addition, teachers can make quizzes after class. This way to ensure that students do not take easy during class. Teachers are also advised to allocate time for fun. This is to prevent students from getting bored quickly. And lastly, the teacher should make a review of knowledge imparted to each class in the form of note or journal. And I hope that the suggestion I give can be put into practice by teachers to ensure that students can continue learning as usual. That's it. Thank you.
That was an incredibly amount of information. Thank you, Mr. Ilham, for your wise word. According to our country's statistics, the government will launch a full-scale lockdown after February 4 if the number of cases is not brought under control, which means the online learning session will be extended until we get a further notice. As a parent, what is your initiative to maintain your children's education during these hard times?
Assalamualaikum. As a parent, first thing that I can do to help my children to be successful in online learning is build a schedule. Traditional school days provide students with a lot of structure. This is this is hard to replicate in online e-learning days. For some students, the flexibility of learning online is a natural fit. However, for other students, especially young learners, managing this increased anatomy in is a challenge. Students participating in e-learning need to break their own routine and effectively manage their time in order to stay on track. Having a well thought out specific daily schedule is key, and parents can be a huge help not only in building such a plan but also in making sure that it is followed. I start by sitting down with my children and intentionally discuss what he is responsible for accomplishing in their online coursework on a daily or weekly basis. How much time the how much time those tasks will realistically take, and what other commitment need to consider. I bring my child teachers into the conversation to teacher can offer valuable insight into the curriculum, their own expectation, and how how they will need to be how they will need to be budget. Once I've once I've thought through everything on my child plate, I help him to write out a weekly schedule with designated work time for online course. I make sure to hang up the schedule in a noticeable place, like on refrigerator or other family next to other family master calendar to help keep my child accountable and establish an effective routine. Second thing I do to help my children to be successful in online learning is set up a designated workspace. The right workspace makes a large difference in student mindset and ability to focus. When participating in e-learning, students have the ability to complete their work where they where they want. So it is important to put through into what kind of environment is truly most effective for them and make sure that they have a designated space at home. I talk about my child personality and need as a starting point to create a workspace tailored to him and make sure that make sure to have a direct conservation conversation with my child about where and how he will most comfortable completing online course. If my child thrives on quiet, make sure that he has desk and comfortable chair in the room. If he need a living room or kitchen, maybe a better place option. No matter what the workspace look like, I will make sure that my child has easy access to the material and supply that he will need to be efficient, like good headphone, a wireless mouse if he will be working on a laptop, and plenty of note paper, pen and other office basic. Third thing I do to help my children to be successful in online learning is get to know the online learning platform. E-learning means the students spend their school day immersed in an online program. For parents, taking the time to get familiar with what this platform look like, how your how your child is using them, and what resource and available are some of the best way you can offer support. I start by exploring any orientation resource provided by school or district as well as the online learning platform. With my child, I will make sure he is comfortable navigating content and activity and completing basic tools like completing basic tasks like submitting assignment and checking grade. I will make sure to spend time and commu- communication on communication tools available to my child as well, like written messaging feature, video conferencing tools, and interactive classroom functionally. Many online learning platforms also offer parent portal. I make sure to find and explore any tools like this so that I can monitor my child progress. If the platform offer any material or guide specifically created for parents and caregivers, I will take the time to read through them. Just like at school, the learning is ultimately is up to students, but but by familiarizing myself with the online tools being used, better grasp on what his learning look like, and how I can most effectively provide support. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Bobby. I'm sure most of our spectators here can relate to your insightful words. Online class can create a stressful learning experience. As a student, have you ever encountered any problems during a distance learning session? And what is your preparation to overcome these difficulties?
Thank you, Mr. Haikal. Assalamualaikum and good afternoon. I greet to all. My name is Muhammad Hafiz Aiman bin Ruzuki, head boy, and also the representative of SMK Pinggan Pinggan. First of all, I would like to say thank you to the organizer for inviting me on this today forum session. It's an honor for me to stand side by side with amazing moderator and fellow panelists. All right. The pandemic COVID-19 has truly changed the landscape of today education, since everything has to move online. Students and teachers have to adapt to this condition until the pandemic settles down. There are there are 4 points I would like to say today. The first point is the pros of online learning, and the 3 point is the cons of online learning. First is online learning is easy to access. Online learning is easy to access because students can do their homework anytime and anywhere they are, as long as the teachers upload it on the online platform. One of the online platforms that we use right now is Google Classroom. When using Google Classroom, we have to make sure that we have good internet connections. Student can student can also rewatch the tutorial videos of their teachers if they also upload it online. But there are one obstacles that we need to overcome. It is not everybody have the ability and capability to go online. As for me, how I overcame the internet connection is I'll make sure that I have enough data so that I can stream online, and also I will make sure that I have a good internet connection whenever I was going to go in the online class. Next, the cons of the online classes. Online classes have taken its toll on the students because we don't have the chance to be socialized. Social life at school is one of the core where the students can build their personality and also learn a lesson how to become a part of the community. How can we learn to be socialized in this pandemic era is to be made sure to always talk to your mother, to your father, and also to your family members. Helping them is one of the way on how to build your personality. Even though we can meet people, we cannot meet people during this COVID-19 pandemic. We still also have to be one of the community in this country. Not having meeting people face to face may make the student to be scared and shy to interact with people on their surrounding. This phenomenon of not meeting people may develop self-seclusion behavior onto the students and can create a whole new generation in the nearest future where people does not interact with people and only dependent to their gadget. This thing is very bad because we are always living in the community, and it is our responsibility to interact with others. So as a student myself, on how I sustain my social life is I always interact with my parents. Next is students cannot develop their social skills such as public speech, or doing presentation, or even as basic as having normal conversation with a total strangers. We have been kept on the we have been kept under the roof for a long period of time and not meeting our friends and teachers at school. Sorry. All right. On how to develop your social skill during the pandemic COVID-19 is to always, as for me, I watch the online videos where I can learn on how to speak and how to doing presentations on the YouTube channel. where YouTube is one of the platforms where you can learn indirectly, even teachers are not teaching you in the class. Well, social skill or social communication skill is one of the most important skills that we have to be equipped with. It is because when we are graduating from our high school, we are going to attend universities, where in universities we have to do a lot of presentations and also a lot of speech. It is because most of these assignments have these elements. Last but not least is student behavior on the online class. Online class means that we're not attending the school physically. So students are not undergo or follow through strict rule and regulation of the school. When they did something wrong, they did not get punished. It is because that the discipline teachers are not there to punish you. Well, on how I discipline myself during this COVID-19 pandemic is I'll always ask my mom to always observe me whenever when I have class tomorrow. I always say to my mom to wake me up right on the time, and also set an alarm for me to remind me that I always have a class. Well, to the students that are not attending the class, or they're attending the class but they're are missing the class, just as like sleeping during the classes, muting the classes and open new tabs to watch something else. This thing is very common mistakes that made by the students because they are not interested on the online classes itself. So parents have to play their role and to be strict to the children. It is because that this is our future together as the community of the next generation. So as in my conclusion, online classes mean we move our classroom into the clouds of internet. It's our responsibility together as students, teachers, and parents in order to ensure that the online classes are also effective as the normal classes itself. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Hafiz, for being truthful. Can be to the students in the area. We are aware not every student comes from a pleasing background. Many students from low-income families lack the basic technology they need to study online. As the principal, what are your proposals about the issue?
I understand in a pandemic situation like this, many parents has been laid off. Many parents have started business to earn money to buy children's learning equipment such as laptop and tablet. Today, situation is at a critical level, which the economy falling, the price of goods are rising. This will definitely burden the parents, but that is the effort of parents to ensure that their children continue their learning as usual. We as educators understand parental complaint, which that we want to lighten their burden to together provide learning equipment for their school-going children. The school authorities will be team up with Persatuan Ibu Bapa Penjaga (PIBG) to collect money to provide visual learning equipment such as laptop and tablet, and Wi-Fi for the underprivileged student. Indirectly, we can help some students who are less able to continue learning like other students. In addition, the school counselor is instructed to visit the home of less able students every week to obtain information about the student need to study or the level of understanding of student while at home. Such actions are taken so that the school relationship with students remains strong even when they are at home. Student complaint will always be heard by the school, and the school will do its best to find a solution. School counseling is also ready to give motivation work to strengthen student mentality. Rich or poor, every child has the right to quality education. We as pupils in power should have them and not oppress their right, because this is all our responsibility to ensure that they become useful pupils in the future. The conclusion I can make here is that every trial we face must be accompanied by effort. I hope the government, especially Malaysian Ministry of Education, is serious in dealing with this issue Let there be no more last-minute announcements that are sure to burden teachers, parents, and students. The framework shall be complete and presented by the convenience of teachers and students. I'll also have that the student who will sit for the SPM examination on 22 February 2021 to succeed in answering smoothly and calmly. For politicians, this is not time to be political. For society, this is the time we help each other. And for students, keep working until finish line. Consider this all a challenge for all of you. Thank you.
We stayed home. Given the current situation, focusing on the well-being of the child will be important. Many parents are nervous about sending kids back to school as the SPM terms 2020 is just around the corner, while COVID-19 cases still booming up. As a parent, do you have this uncertainty whether it's a proper step or not to send back your kid to school?
Thank you, Mr. Haikal. As a parent, some parents may feel confident about sending their kid back. They plan to send their kid back if there are protocols in place like proper ventilation, mask, and small class size. But some parents are unlikely to send their kid back to school. If I were in Klang, for instance, which is experiencing an active outbreak, I strongly recommend against it. If you open up without a good plan in a place that isn't safe, you will get outbreak and you shut down. Thank you. That's all from me.
That was a really knowledgeable information. Thank you, Mr. Nabawi. Student assessment has changed in the new millennium. New technologies are evolving daily to assist students with tasks during this pandemic as a measure to decrease contact between person to person. As a student, do you prefer taking online tests or stick to the face-to-face examination system?
Thank you, Mr. Haikal. As a student, I might prefer online tests or face-to-face exam. Well, for me, before I take in my opinions and stance, let me explain on how we should execute online exam. First thing first, why most of our community or most of these people in this country did not agree to have online exam. It is because of these two problems. The first thing is cheating during exam, and the second thing is plagiarism. So how do we overcome these two things? First thing is we need to make an open book test which will allow the student to refer the book during the exam, so we can reduce or maybe we can avoid the problems of cheating during the exam. So secondly, when we making a face-to-face exam, we are concerned about the risk of outbreak COVID-19. So when we are taking exam face-to-face, we never know that maybe some of us are having the symptoms and also been affected by the COVID-19 as well. So this is one of the most thing that we need to measure on the public health matters. Are we ready to face the outbreak if some of the students who are attending the online are positive, or are we not ready to do it? So for me, taking an offline exam or exam face-to-face is much easier than online exam. It is because when the exam starts, we have to write our answers on the answer sheet and to pass up the exam papers to the examiners itself. So unlikely during an online exam, after we are done answering the questions, we need to snap and re-upload it onto the online platform. So maybe some of the students cannot submit their exam papers right on the time. So some of the students may did not have a very good internet connections during online examinations. So as for me, in my opinion as a student, I would like to prefer exam face-to-face. It is because it's much easier, but we have to be ready to take the risk of COVID-19 outbreak. So I hope that the governments have made a very good protocols in order to prevent the outbreak during our face-to-face exam. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your impactful proposal. Ladies and gentlemen, we are getting close to the end of our time together. In conclusion, the education sector in Malaysia has seen a paradigm shift in teaching and learning process and shaping the community for the new normal. With the new technology, dependence have massively increased not just for students but also for lecturers, teachers, and all of the people involved in the institution. The question is, are we totally ready for it? Thank you for joining. We really do appreciate your interest in this very important issue. You can ask further questions into our website. Thanks again for joining. I'm Haikal Hakimi and I see you again next week to discuss on our next topic. Goodbye and be safe.